and welcome to today's ASMR video. We will be talking now about one very special being. It is a gecko. Gecko is a small lizard. The gecko has nice dots on its back, on the tail, on the head, but we will speak about something else that is fascinating on this small animal, and it is his amazing sticking power. This little reptile scamper up walls and across ceilings as if gravity didn't exist. But they don't have glue on their feet. They don't leave sticky glue behind them. No. The different secret is behind these sticky fingers. So, if you will touch the finger of a gecko, you will discover that it is not a sticky finger. No glue is on its head and legs. No slime, even. It's a perfectly dry finger and hand. So where does this sticking power come from? It comes from tiny hairs on gecko's toes. Gecko has millions of them on his toes. When gecko walks and when he wants to stick to a surface, its toe hairs flatten down and cling to this surface. And they only grip in one direction. It is called directional adhesion. And it facilitates the gecko in his moving efforts. He simply curls its toes upward, lifting the hairs on the surface, and then its foot is free. A gecko can stick and unstick its feet 15 to 20 times per second. And it's amazing. Scientists are trying to imitate the gecko's ability of moving on vertical surfaces. And here we have one example of a gecko robot foot inspired by a gecko. There are also other sticky animals. A fly also can move on vertical surfaces. Spiders also have thousands of tiny flexible hairs on their legs. This tree frog has a mucus that help him stick. And also snail has slimy mucus, and it helps it stick. And other animals can also walk all around on very hard surfaces that are vertical, but no animal have this fantastic capability as a gecko. Geckos stick to just about any surface. Glass doesn't matter. Let us see a little bit closer this fantastic leg of a gecko. A gecko's toes has millions of tiny hairs. They are called setaes. Here we have even more magnified this part of a gecko. Many, many millions of hairs. And here we can see the end of a hair. On the tip of each hair there are hundreds of smaller split ends. The grip of one strand is not strong, but all of them together can form a very strong bond. You can ask, okay, many small hairs and these ends, but why it is possible to walk with these hairs? Why they are gripping themselves to the surface? Here we have the answer. We need to think about molecules, the tiniest bits that make up something. When two molecules get really close to each other, they can get attached to each other. The force of that attraction can make the molecules stick together. It is not a strong bond. Actually, it is pretty weak. But when we have millions of molecules, or these tiny hairs and these tiny tips, are working together, then we can have this hard bond. And it is because of the molecules that are attracted to each other when are really close to each other. When we say that the hairs on gecko's toes are tiny, we can say that they are really tiny, tiny. Human hair is more than 10 times thicker than this gecko hair. And every square millimeter of a gecko's foot has about 14,000 of these tiny hairs. And the tip of each hair has 1,000 split ends. Some facts that are interesting. Geckos' feet are clean, which is good. The hairs shed dirt, so gecko never loses its sticking power. And when scientists are thinking about replicating the gecko, they have to think about self-cleaning abilities of these replicas. The gecko is a very small lizard. It is the smallest lizard. The gecko is just half an inch long. It is about 15 millimeters. And most geckos can't blink, and they lick their eyes to keep them moist and clean. Very, very interesting animal, gecko. We will be talking about shark skin, algae, and barnacles can't stick to its skin, and it is really fascinating because on other marine animals you can see many algae and barnacles, like we can see them also on ships that are usually covered with them. Shark skin has a unique texture. That giving them ability to be free of this algae and barnacles on the skin. If we magnify shark skin, we can see this fantastic surface. Shark skin has a patterned texture that makes it hard for anything to stick to the shark. Here you can see a product called Sharklet, and it is a shark skin inspired coating. And the idea is to have this coating on a ships, and that it helps ships to be free of this algae and barnacles that are very invasive when the ship is in the sea. Now boat builders are using a special paint to prevent barnacles and algae from sticking. But these paints are very toxic. So using this shark skin inspired coating would not only be good for the ships, but will also help the ocean to stay cleaner. The shark skin is covered with layers of hard diamond-shaped scales called denticles. They are more like teeth than fish scales. The scales, which cover the shark's elastic skin, flex against each other as the shark moves, and they help the shark swim with less effort by making it hard for stuff to stick to it. interesting facts about sharks. Sharks range widely in length. The smallest shark, a spined pygmy shark, is only 11 inches large. It is about 28 centimeters. And the biggest shark, the whale shark, is a 50 feet long animal. It is 15 meters. But even bigger shark was the megalodon shark. But they went extinct 2.6 million years ago. And they were 67 feet length, or 20 meters. And they were the biggest animals beside the whales. Sharks have no bones, and their skeleton are made entirely of cartilage. It is the firm but flexible stuff like the one of our ears and nose. Most sharks live 20 to 30 years. And here in this book they write that the spiny dogfish and whale shark can live to be more than 100 years. But although it is not written here, the longest living shark is in fact a Greenland shark. A shark that is 18 feet long, about 5.5 meters, and it is discovered that the Greenland shark can live more than 500 years. This shark lives in a cold water around Greenland, in deep water, and it's almost totally blind. With this, we will end our today's ASMR session. I wish you good night and sleep well.